what's going on there? I don't want you to see my laptop. Hello, 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 everybody. Let's give us some music in the background because, you know, we can't do this with silence. Let's make sure that that's not too loud, though, for you. Not too loud for me. So, welcome to 2022. There's too many twos. Far too many twos in here. But how is everybody? How was everybody's festive season? How's the new year been? How's the start to the new year? I cannot believe that we are already almost at the end of January. Generally, for me, January is normally like the longest month ever. I'm pretty sure that's like for most people. It's like the longest month ever. But yeah, it's really, next week's the end of the month already. Like, where did it go? I'm not sure where it went. But that's, you know, all super interesting that it's, you know, flying by already, and it's, you know, we've only just started the new year. So with, I don't know if anybody else is having this issue, right? So I have a child that is, I'm not going to say she's fussy, but she's not fussy because she eats the unusual food. That's the weird thing. So she's fussy in that she's very picky about what she'll eat, and things that she likes, she will eat and consume in copious amounts. And sometimes on such a regular basis that eventually she no longer wants to eat it, and then she goes off it. And then because she doesn't, the biggest problem with my child is that she doesn't eat a big enough variety, so that if she goes off one thing, then I have something else to give her. But I don't have that. So because she is a picky eater, and she doesn't, it's so difficult because when I started feeding her, when she went onto solids as a baby, she ate everything. I lie. I'm not going to say everything. She's never eaten avo. She's never eaten pumpkin because she's never, every time I've tried that with her, she's always spat it out. She never ever liked it. But she always ate every other vegetable. She's always eaten carrots, beetroot, broccoli, cauliflower, everything. And then somewhere along the line, from being mashed up solids to actual solids and finger foods and stuff like that, she just started dropping everything. She's never been into, she was at one stage not into chicken, always has loved fish, fingers, and then school taught her to eat chicken, and now she loves chicken. But she goes through stages. So like fish fingers was our go-to, and at one stage she wasn't eating a lot, so that was the only thing that she would eat. And then for the last quarter of last year, she decided she didn't want fish fingers anymore. She's now gone back to eating fish fingers. Yay. So I try and give her something different every day. That's how we eat in our house. I try and get her to eat. So if we eat in chicken, she must eat chicken. If we eat in fish, she must eat fish. Whether it's her fish fingers or not, it's irrelevant, as long as she's eating. Because at some point, I'm hoping that she's going to start eating what we actually eat. Cannot get her to eat vegetables for nothing. Sometimes I can get her to eat a corn. Sometimes I can get her to eat raw carrots. But otherwise, so I struggle. So like she'll like only eat one kind of chip now, or crisps. So now she's slowly getting into a whole lot of different kinds of crisps. So now we have a variety of crisps that she'll eat, which is fantastic. So my biggest issue is lunch for school. I can't send her to school with fish fingers or chicken because, one, she likes it when it's freshly cooked, so she won't eat. I can't cook it and then let her eat it the next day. She won't do that, you know. And then also, it's super hot here at the moment. It's in her bag all day. I don't want to take the chance of her eating a meat of some sort where she can get sick. So I can't give her that. She doesn't really eat cheese. She will eat cheese on pizza, but that's about it. She won't eat yeah, she won't eat cheese at all. She used to eat blocks of cheese, won't eat it now. So she'll eat yogurt, but she'll only eat yogurt at home because it's cold out of the fridge. Take it to school, it gets hot, and she doesn't want to eat it. So I'm getting more and more limited. So she eats apples. She can't, her favorite is peanut butter sandwiches. Unfortunately, we can't send her to school with peanut butter sandwiches because there's somebody who's highly allergic. Therefore, can't send her to school with peanut butter sandwiches. So, so that's the struggle. So now, what is in her lunchbox? She gets an apple to make sure that she's got enough food. I sometimes give her 2 apples because she's got extra meals afterwards, and I need to make sure that she's eating enough. She goes to school with 2 slices of toast with nothing on it because she won't eat jam, she won't eat cheese, she won't eat any of the other things that I put on it. We've got her to try out chocolate spread, we've got her to try out cookie spread, and all of them she likes, but she says not on her sandwich. Says the child who dips her piece of chicken in her Sprite and then eats it, which is disgusting. So I'm like, I don't know. So now I am on the hunt. So it's incredibly difficult in this family because I bake to keep her treat habits under control. Because every time I bake, then she says, is there any for me? So, and I've said to her, this year, that's not happening. I bake for my customers and nobody else. There's no more baking for us, no more sideline baking. Any extra baking that I do, that's like testers and stuff like that, will go to all my tasters who are not in this house. Yes, we will, my husband and I will get a little bit of a taste just to know that obviously we need to know what I'm baking. But basically it'll leave this house. It cannot be in this house. We can't continue to be eating the treats. We want to be healthy this year. Our biggest goal this year is to be strong and healthy and have better eating habits and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things is that whatever I'm baking cannot be consumed in this house. That goes for my child as well. So what I have found is that if she is not eating treats, she tends to eat a little bit better. So I'm kind of cutting the treats off completely. But at the same time, I would rather bake her cookies and know what's in it and know that it's not, high in this and whatever, preservatives and all that, than be buying treats as well, So, like, I think homemade stuff is far better and healthier for her than bought stuff. Having said that, I'm still not going to be making. So now the thing is, now I'm being on the hunt now for healthy treats that she could possibly eat, and like trying to find a way to get her to start eating vegetables of in some way or another. I just like yesterday I made tomato pasta, which is normally spaghetti bolognese, but my dinner was different. I made carbonara for us, and we made it with baby marrow spaghetti. She doesn't eat that. Far too many vegetables. There's bacon in there, mushrooms, and she's like, ugh, no. So I'll make a bolognese for her, and she'll eat that, and she calls it tomato pasta. Other than that, she doesn't eat meat at all. Red meat. I'm talking about red meat. She doesn't eat red meat at all. So what I did yesterday is I basically did my bolognese, but as a vegetarian with, and I made it just for her with, so everything's I make it exactly the same way as I always do, except the only difference is instead of having mince in there, I put a little bit of brinjal, a little bit of mushrooms, and then I chop them up really, really small, some onions and whatever, and I make it all exactly the same. And then just so that there's not big chunks, I blitz it a bit so that it's like a thick sauce or whatever. And I don't give her a lot, just enough to cover her pasta, and that's one way of getting her to eat. Because she wants to have it with the tomato. So I make it, so then I blitz it so that she can't see the chunks. Because the minute she sees the chunks, she doesn't want to eat it. Which is seriously random. So that was one way of getting her to eat. So I made her a big batch yesterday. And what I've done is I've separated it into a whole bunch of tubs and put it into the deep freeze so that once a week I can make pasta for her and then put the tomato in for her. She eats obviously the tomato base and whatever on pizza with the cheese or whatever. But that's actually her limit, I mean, she doesn't really eat anything else. So when she started school this year, it's like very much excitement that she gets to, turning 7 this year and going into grade 1. That all of the excitement with all the kids this year is that they get to go to the tuck shop this year. So the way the tuck shop works at our school is that it's not like when I was at school. When I was at school, it was like burgers and chips and chocolates and sweeties and pretty much anything that you can get into, like at a takeout, the grocery store kind of thing. So, like you take, your mom would give you some money or whatever, and you would go and buy like chocolates and sweets and crap, and you'd eat really rubbish. So her tuck shop, which is called Dennis, is they only serve healthy stuff. So you have to pre-order their meals. So like if you don't want to make lunches for them or whatever, if you know that they'll eat certain things, you can actually pre-order all their meals, and then the child just goes to the food truck and they will give the child whatever the food is back. So it's like healthy sandwiches and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, there's nothing of that my child will eat, which is quite a problem. But they also sell snacks and stuff, but all the snacks and stuff is all healthy treats. So she comes to me and she's like, she wants to go to Dennis. That's very nice. But what is there that you eat there? Because you don't eat any of the actual foods. And like, I know they don't have crisps and chocolates and all that kind of stuff there. What the treats that are there are like vegan treats and like keto treats, that kind of stuff, all like healthy treat kind of stuff. Before I can continue, I just want to switch on the oven. So that we can preheat the oven. So she says to me, one of her friends goes to Dennis, and it's one of these friends that does eat everything. She doesn't have issue with eating and all the rest of it. So her mom orders her something like every Friday. So every Friday she can get food from Dennis and a treat and whatever. So the day before school, we had school orientation, and she says to me, so we go to Dennis, and she says to me, Mom, these are the treats that I like. So I said, what treats are these? To find out that she's been eating chocolate chickpeas. Super healthy. So this is my thing, is that my child is fussy, but I think she's going to land up eating good, healthy food. Like, she eats bow buns. She doesn't eat the custard bow buns. She eats the red smashed bean buns, which is a healthy option because it's red beans, and it's a good option for her. But she thinks it's a treat. So this is my dilemma, that I need to try and start making stuff like this so that she will eat these things. So then she says to me, no, Mom, I like these things. I said, but babe, these are chickpeas. So she says, I don't know what chickpeas are. I said, these are chocolate-coated chickpeas. Chickpeas. So I was like, but they're yummy. I was like, okay. So apparently you can buy them. They're super expensive. You pay 20 Rand a packet. So now this is like for me, that's expensive for a treat. I mean, like a chocolate costs $10. You know what I mean? Like, or a packet of chips, or cheeky, yeah. so, so So I bought her a pack and I said to her, okay, so every Friday she can go to Dennis, she can get an iced tea, which she really likes, and instead of a soft drink, whatever, because they don't serve soft drinks at all. It's iced tea and some other thing. I think there's apple, I don't know if there's appetizer, but there's iced teas and a few other, like water and a few other, there's like really not a lot of options, and that's all healthier options. And even their snacks, there's not a massive selection, but it's all, things like, chocolate coated chickpeas, vegan chocolate coated chickpeas, and nut bars, and that kind of, well, not nut bars, that's nut free, so it can't be nut bars, but anything that, so I was like, okay. So now I'm like thinking, okay, can I buy the stuff in bulk so that at least I can give it to her? But now I've got to be careful, because if she gets it every day, she's going to go off it. Like she does with everything. She goes off it. Because you can't give it to her every day. Because this is where I'm sitting. She's been back at school for a week and a half. She gets the same thing every day, basically. She gets a different type of chip, crisp. So, depending on what I have in the cupboard, we buy all the different kinds of chips that she likes so that she can get a variety. So I try and give her a different one every day. Otherwise, she gets sick of it and then she doesn't want to eat it. She gets an apple a day because normally she will eat up to 3 apples in a day. She loves apples. It's the one thing that she has not gone off. Touch wood. So, and then she gets her sandwich, which is plain toast every day, because I don't know what else to give her, because she won't eat anything else. So it's either me trying to force her to eat something, and then she comes home and she hasn't eaten anything and wastes it, or I give her what she does like. Hopefully it's a better option, and at least she eats, and I know she's eaten through the day, because she can't go through the entire day with not eating, especially when she's got sports after school. So now I am now looking to see if I can make my own homemade treats and better option foods that I could possibly, if she likes them enough, put them in her lunchbox where she is not going to, so that every day I can put something different in her lunchbox, because I know that that's the problem. If she can have something different in her lunchbox every day, she will be happy. 1 or 2 days is fine, but when it comes to 3-4 days, and now 2 weeks later, still eating the same thing every single day, she's just like, and slowly what's going to happen is that she's going to come home having not eaten anything, and then she's just going to not be fueling her body that she needs, with all the resources that she needs to be able to get through school, concentrate, and actually, because I know what she'll do, she'll just basically go on a hunger strike. She can't afford that. She's a very skinny little girl. She needs to eat to be able to concentrate and get through school. And because she's doing sports after school, she needs to be able to have enough food. And I've had this discussion with her over and over again that she has to eat. She can't not eat. And so many people have said to me, well, if, eventually, like some people have said to me, well, just don't give her anything until she actually eats it. And to a certain point, that's all very good and well. But I also don't need my child fainting on me, or landing up in hospital because she's now actually literally starving herself because she refuses to eat anything else. So my best option is to try and find her things that she will eat. So having said that, we have found one treat that she really likes, and that is chocolate chickpeas. Super easy apparently to make. super easy to make. So I read it up. So I'm going to attempt to try and make them. The biggest thing with them is that they need to be crunchy, almost like, the chocolate shortbread whispers and stuff like that. It needs to be like that, because I think that's what she thinks it is. So, because it has the same kind of texture and everything. So that is where the challenge is going to come in, is getting the chickpea to be dried up, not burnt, just dried out enough that it is nice and crunchy. So I read up on the recipe. Super easy. It's basically a can of chickpeas, that we drain all the juices out, we dap them dry, we don't put anything on them. Apparently you can sprinkle a little bit of salt on. Not going to do that for now. I just want to actually get her to eat this. I think maybe if I put just a little bit of, I don't know if we've got some of our salt, we've got different kinds of salts and some of them are quite strong. I don't want something that's super strong. I just want something that maybe hopefully help bring out the flavor, maybe help dry them out a little bit. So I might just use normal good old table salt, just a sprinkle of it, not a lot, just to help with the drying process, and just to give it that little bit of flavor. You know, sometimes salt, you don't taste the salt, but the salt brings out the flavor in certain foods and stuff like that. So it has been suggested to put a little bit of salt in. So I think maybe that's what I should do from the get-go. So basically, you just need a can of chickpeas. They do suggest that it be a can of chickpeas and not dried chickpeas that you've soaked overnight, because the dehydrated ones that you soak overnight, you still actually, in essence, need to cook to make soft. These are already soft and almost, you know, like cooked. I know that you can eat chickpeas raw, but yeah, it's almost basically already cooked kind of thing. So they do suggest, because these are soft, and so the drying up process works out much better. And then because you want that, like I say, shortbread crunchy to it, as opposed to like it's rock hard, you can't bite into it, like, you know, like an unpopped popcorn, which I think is what will happen if you use dried ones that you rehydrate to then try and bake. So you just need that, and then some like 90% dark chocolate or whatever. So I've got dark chocolate, and the suggestion I think I've got is just to add a little bit of coconut oil in, or coconut butter, which I've got, and into the chocolate just to help it. And yeah, I think it just gives it that little bit of extra flavor as well. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to drain this, and then we're going to paper towel dry it, and then we're going to put it on a baking sheet with baking paper, and we're going to pop it in. They said about 20 minutes to do this, for it to dry out. They also said that when it comes out, it might be soft, but as it cools down, it will dry out more. So we're going to see. I might end up having to put it back in the oven for a little bit longer. I've got to watch that it doesn't get burnt as well, because we don't want it burning. So possibly might need to be a little bit like meringues, where it's being dried out at a lower heat for longer, but we'll see. So I'm going to I'm not sure if I actually want to keep I'm going to do this because I'm not 100% sure if I want to keep the liquid, because sometimes, like if we're making you know, like falafel balls or that kind of thing, then you need, or hummus, you use a little bit of the juices. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that. So I'll just keep the juices for now, and then I'll make a decision later. So I'm preheating the oven. And these also, I mean, they come with skins. So now I'm also just wondering if I must pop the skins off. You know, I'm going to do that because in my experience with making hummus, it is so much nicer without the skins. So I think, let me rinse these. I'm going to rinse them under some cold water, and then I'm going to take the skins off. So I'm gonna use a paper towel. Okay, so because we need to dry them. We need to dry them out before we actually, so you don't pour oil on it or anything like that, because we are intentionally trying to dry them out. So while I've got these on here like this, I'm going to try and get the skins off as many of them as possible. So what you'll see with the chickpeas is that it has the skin. So if you can get the skins off, so I'm going to just pop the ones that I've got. Oh, this comes off way easier than. So when I make hummus, I use dried chickpeas and then I rehydrate them overnight, and then I sit with boiling water, and then I shock it with ice cold water to get the skins off. Because you can't believe what a massive difference it makes to the texture and the smoothness of your hummus when you're making it and blending it. The skins actually do cause a problem. So I'm going to take these skins off because I feel like that will make a world of difference. The only thing is then the chickpea doesn't stay intact. That's the only thing. But I don't think that's an issue. Honestly, I don't think that's an issue. I mean, if she's eating half a chickpea or a full chickpea, because what happens is that then they're all half sometimes. They don't stay around, but that's also okay. I think that the biggest challenge here is getting the dryness to the right, crispiness. And the thing is that you can't test it when it gets out the oven. You've got to wait for it to cool before you can actually see if it's crispy enough. So that's going to be the challenge, I think. And then, yeah, that's just a matter of melting chocolates. So obviously, because we want to keep it healthy, vegan or whatever, that kind of thing, you're not going to use milk chocolate. You're going to use dark chocolate. If you can get 70% or whatever. I don't know what, I've got baking dark chocolate, which I'm going to use because I don't actually want to put too much chocolate on it. I don't want to overly coat it. I want it literally like a really thin coat of chocolate. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I actually might you know what I might do? I'll run it through something like this where I can drain the chocolate and then roll it around and then put it onto a baking tray to then set. She does know that I'm doing this today. I said I'm going to try, but it's definitely a healthy treat. In many ways, it tastes really good. But again, I need to find some other ones. So what I'm going to do, because is for the next couple of lives, I'm going to focus on healthy treats and snacks that we can give our kids for school, because this is a struggle for me, and for me this year I definitely need to get her to start eating some other foods, and in one way or another, somehow. I think I need to try. So I have this amazing quinoa recipe, actually quinoa muffin recipe. So I think one of the lives I'm going to do that. I've been having a look at some of the kids' treats for picky eaters, and I'm like, my child won't eat some of these things, and I'm like, how is this for picky eaters? And unfortunately, she doesn't eat eggs, so I can't even send her to school with a boiled egg to eat. Get a boost of protein. She'll eat eggs in things, but she won't eat an actual egg. So that's also a bit of a concern. Also, my thing is that I feel like she's eating hang of a lot of carbs. And while, when she's a kid, that's okay. it might become a problem later in life, and that's a concern for me. So yeah, I'm just like, but I'm just like now thinking like one of the other things I can give her, because we make her pancakes on the weekend, or pancakes, flapjacks. But now I'm thinking like I should make a big batch, and that is something that she'll like. If I make a massive batch over the weekend, like throughout the weekend, she'll be snacking on it. So now I'm like thinking that maybe that's something that I should make for her, as you know, something for one of the days, just at least one day, not not every day, just to give her a break from toast. From toast, like still want to eat it, but I'm like to try and get her to eat protein. So now basically she's only eating protein, which is what she needs to sustain her body throughout the day, especially when she's, so that's why the chickpeas is such a good thing, because your chickpeas is not only a carbohydrate, it's a protein. It's a very good protein. So if I can find another treat that she'll eat, like I need to be able to make, so she really likes falafel balls, but I've got to be careful on how I make them, because they could turn out to be a little too strong and then she won't want to eat them. So that's another thing I could try and get, try and make for her, but not make it as strong, so that she'll eat them. And then I could give her that as a snack for school. It's not like last year. Last year, she only needed one snack. She needed a snack for one break time, and then she'd be home for lunch. Whereas that's not happening now. She's got 2 break times, and then she's still at school for after school, for her sports after school. So she needs enough food to be able to get her through the day. And it concerns me a lot. Concerns me a huge amount that she's not eating enough to sustain herself for all the activities and stuff. And I think it's half the reason why she doesn't get through her day and why she lands up being so tired, besides all the stimulation, is because she actually hasn't eaten enough to get her body to get through the day. Look, I mean, I don't want to, we're trying to keep her with healthy food habits, not, have a bad food, I don't want her to have a bad food, experience that as she grows older, she then starts to have a really bad relationship with food. That's a problem. I don't want that. So like, when I was a kid, I used to eat like she did, very, very slowly, in my own time. And so for me, I tell her to eat when she's hungry, not when I eat. The only problem I have is when she comes to me at bedtime and says, "Can we eat now?" And then I'm like, no, he should have eaten when we ate. So that's the only time. But throughout the day, because it's important that you don't, it's for your metabolism to eat. We eat early, we don't eat late. We generally eat way before 7 o'clock at night, so that we are not going to bed with a full tummy, which is extremely important for your metabolism, to not go to sleep with a full tummy. And so that's one of the things I'm like trying to instill in her and make her realize that she can't come to me at bedtime and say, can we eat? Because that's, especially for a girl, because when those hormones kick in, that's going to be something else. For guys, it's another thing. They have that high metabolism of testosterone and all of that it just burns it up. Whereas for girls, it's a whole other ball game with your metabolism and stuff. So sorry, this is going to take a little longer than I expected. No. So while these are baking, I have an order that I need to finish. So you will see me doing something, because I'm not going to be just standing here talking. So yeah, just while these are baking. So our main thing here is this, but while I'm baking, I'm just going to finish up my order. I need to ice some cookies and ice some cupcakes for a gender reveal party. So I'll do that while these are baking and melt the chocolate. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's a concern for me. I don't know, like, if anyone's got suggestions of, like, you know, what can we do, what can we eat, you know, what can I get my child to try and eat. You know, like, I don't want to give her things that always contain chocolate and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a chocoholic. I don't need her to be one. I just wish I could do. I did find something that was like a snack bar, which I think she might like, but I think now it might have peanut butter in it, which then she can't take to school. This, you know, like, I understand that this poor kid who has a peanut allergy could probably die. I get that. But at the same time, my child doesn't eat. Now I'm struggling because I can't get her to eat anything else. And she can't have the one thing that she does eat. You know, she like lives off peanut butter. We go through ridiculous amounts of peanut butter. We buy the big 1 kg peanut butter. And sometimes she sits and she eats it. So one thing she hasn't really gone off as well, touch wood. It's like, I'm sure that's the only reason why she's growing so much is because she's been eating so much peanut butter. Again, good protein and good fat. So it's not unhealthy for her. But it can't be the only thing that she's consuming, though. That's the problem. It can't be the only thing that she consumes. She needs to start, like, I think that's like my biggest goal. I've got like, one of the goals with her this year is to obviously try and get her through grade 1 without a hitch. And, you know, like, get her to, you know, do really well this year. But I think, like, I need to get her to eat something else. Sure, drives me nuts. Like, I don't have a problem that she takes, depending on how hungry she is and what she's eating, she can, you know, she can take up to an hour and a half to eat. But she also only eats when she's hungry. I don't force her to eat at specific times of the day. So generally, she's a morning eater. So, like, she will wake up and have breakfast. She'll have snacks at first break, which is about 9 o'clock, I think. And then she'll have snacks again, and the rest of her lunch at, I think it's 11. And then whatever's left over after school before she does her extramurals. But then she doesn't really eat when she gets home. She might then have a snack at maybe like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But even when she's at home, she'll eat in the morning, and she'll be peckish all the way up until lunchtime, and eat something at lunchtime, and then she'll be fine until much later. So, which is fine if that's how, you know, but for me, as long as she's eating when she's hungry and not just eating for the sake of eating, which comes to the whole thing that one of the bad habits we have instilled in her, which is something we're going to need to start getting out of her, is eating with the tablet or in front of the TV. So she's eating mindlessly instead of mindfully, and knowing what she's putting in her mouth and understanding what she's doing. So that's something that we're going to have to start working on as well. But also, I say this when she never used to eat dinner with us, and now she started eating dinner with us. So that's also, I mean, that in itself is a good thing, where she eats dinner with us. So but yeah. But it's difficult to explain that kind of stuff to a 6-year-old. To eat mindfully and not, you know, and even an adult. I mean, I think sometimes adults do exactly that. They, eat with the newspaper back in the day. How's that any different to sitting with your phone or a tablet or something? So, we shall see. So we're going to come up with some recipes. I'm going to do some more research, but I think one of the things I am going to do is the quinoa muffins and see if she'll eat those. I have this really awesome recipe for quinoa muffins that it's made with quinoa, minimal amount of flour. I think I can't remember. I haven't made them in such a long time. And then yeah, I want to see if I can find, my biggest thing is if I can get it to at least take a muffin to school. Maybe I must do the falafels. See if I can make falafels for her. And try, I have made falafels before also, something that is super time consuming to make. But like I feel like if I could make some and make them, I don't know, I must actually do some research to see if I can make the balls and everything, freeze them, and then just fry them as I need them. But also it's chickpeas, it's a good healthy treat. She does generally like eating them, but I think sometimes because my husband's Indian, I like to make them quite strong for him because he likes that strong flavor and whatever, and then it lands up being too strong for her. So I might need to make her own batch kind of thing, which I suppose I shall do. I could possibly make her mini pizzas for school. I just need to start finding her like a variety, where we can do a variety. Mini pizzas might be an idea. Just, it's a different option to having that way. Also, she's getting a little bit of vegetables with the tomato and the cheese, because that's something that can go to school in her lunchbox. Because it's also, my concern is obviously because it's so hot here at the moment. Like, we're going into a heat wave this weekend. We are looking at that tomorrow is going to be like 38 degrees. She can't go to school with stuff that could possibly go off. It's not in a fridge or anything like that at school. So, that's a concern. Okay. So we need to, I'm going to spread these out. So it's not a lot. I mean, this is not a lot one can. You can see it's not a lot. Now that I'm looking at it, I feel like it should be way more. I think it's, why? When I do the hummus and stuff, and I dehydrate it, I do a much bigger batch than this, because what I land up doing is I land up doing enough to make hummus, and then I'll probably land up making enough to do some falafel balls and that kind of stuff. So it still seems okay. I think what's happening is that my baking paper is retaining the moisture. Yeah, that's not going to help. Let's put them on there like that. Okay. The baking paper is not absorbent, so it's not soaking up the moisture. So we want to try and get these dry as possible, so that when we put them in the oven, they're really on their way to being dried out. At one stage, we actually were convinced that she was going to be a vegetarian because she wouldn't eat any protein of any kind, like, no fish, no chicken, no meat, anything. But that was when she was still eating vegetables. Now, that's not the case anymore. She could very well become, she eats chicken. She likes chicken. She eats fish, but definitely not meat. She won't eat meat. Which is not a for me, not a trans. We don't eat a lot of meat in our house anyway. So we don't eat a lot of red meat. We'll eat it every now and then. So, okay, that looks better. Okay. So we're going to pop these onto a baking tray. Oh, I don't think I need a big one. Don't need a baking tray, so I'm going to just put a little bit of grease-proof baking paper in here. Because also, obviously, I don't want them to stick to my pan. Not that there's a lot. I mean, it's very small. Okay. Right, and then we can pop these into here. And roll them on here. And flatten them out so that they're not on top of each other and they can really have like room to dry out. What I think I will do is I will turn them after 10 minutes. So they say 20 minutes. So then after 10 minutes, I will just push them around so that they're not all on, getting cooked on one side kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to pop those into the oven like that. Into the oven. And while we're doing that, while that's happening, I'm just going to time it 20 minutes. So yeah, at past, I will check them. Oh, I wanted to do icing and I don't have bags. Silly person. I need to go get bags. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is ice my cookies just because I can. And also, I mean, to do this, now while I can, to save me some time. So, we're doing a gender reveal cookie. Well, it's for a gender reveal party. So, these aren't going to be revealing anything. My cookies aren't revealing anything, but there will be a combination of pink and blue. So they're going to be it's a white little t-shirt. The baby grow. This is my little mini version of the baby grow. Oh, I think I'm going to need to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Where are my glasses? I have no idea where my glasses are. I can't do this kind of work without glasses. Where have I put them? Let me go find my glasses. Okay, then I can see. Right. So we're just going to do some royal icing on the cookies. I'm going to start off with a very small hole because I want to do these little outlines on the shirt. If you can see that, so the little outlines. I want to do that first so that they can just dry a bit before I fill in the shirt and then do some like a little bit of decor. So the decor is going to be in pink and blue because it's for a gender reveal. This goes down here. That. And then oh, these ones. That goes like that. Okay. So that's the outline that I need for it to dry, and then I'll fill it in, and then I'm going to do like probably like little pink and blue hearts, just to give it some kind of color. If you can see what I'm doing. And thankfully, this is I only have to do 12 little cookies, so it's not a lot. 12 cupcakes. So this, what I'm doing the outline is I want it to be distinct for a reason. So I don't want it to blend in with my my t-shirt when I fill it in. So I'm doing it because I want it to actually, when I do the fill in, it's going to stand out because it's dry. And then the cupcakes, I'm going to just do a mix of pink and blue. And I need to find, I meant to have taken them out already, which I didn't do, is the pink and blue daiquiris and sprinkles. Where are we at? We've got a couple of more minutes, and then I'm going to check on these chickpeas. That will have given it 10 minutes. I am going to keep an eye on it because one of the biggest things is that my oven is quite a hot oven. So it kind of bakes at a much quicker heat rate. So I can't hear my music. I don't know if you guys can. I'm going to turn it up a bit. I hope you guys can. I don't want it too loud though on your side because then you can't hear me sometimes. But I want to turn it up for a bit. I don't know if you're getting a double sound. Where, Dad? Can you tell me? Because it sounds like the microphone. It looks like the microphone according to my bar is picking up other sounds. So I'm not too sure if it is or if it's not. Let me know if it is or not. Or if it's fine. Okay, I'm going to just quickly stop there with that so I can quickly check the chickpeas and see what's happening there. So I think they're looking good. They're definitely drying out. We'll see what they look like in another 10 minutes. Oh, definitely need my glasses. Six, 8, 10, 12. So I'm going to need to make some pink and blue icing as well. Because when I do the hearts and that, I need to do it when I'm filling out the icing. When I'm flooding it. I just want to find my daiquiris because I think I've got pink daiquiris. Which I want to use for my... Although I'm not going to use daiquiris on here, so... Okay, then I need to make some pink and blue. Pink and blue icing. So, pink and blue. I'm going to use that to fill. Don't fall down. It's just full of icing. I don't need a lot of each color because it's literally just to, it's going to be very, very small. Most of this is going to be white. And then, but I just need enough so that I can fold it in the bag. You know, if there's too much icing, if there's not enough icing in the bag, you can't hold it properly. Okay. I'm just going to make a light pink. I don't want it too dark. I don't want it dark blue or anything like that. I want it sort of light pink and a light blue. Oh, that blue is going to be a bit dark. Yeah, but it's fine. And blue. And then I put a bit of pink. Got 10 more minutes. And let's hope they're going to come out. And then while they're cooling, we'll melt the chocolates. Carry on here. And then we should be good to go. Okay, I need... toothpicks. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Just check out my pages, my website. Got to do that little bit of a punt. I just want to check on them and make sure that they're okay. I'm not sure. Oh wow. They have 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes before we get any further. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little hole bigger. Just so that I can fill up. See, because now this is dry. What is going on? Okay. Because now this is dry, when I flood it, it will, you will see the distinct difference between the two. So it'll be like a line. And they won't blend into each other. So it'll give you like an outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I'll finish up the rest of it now. So my icing is thin enough for it to just flow and go flat. But I'm going to make little dots. I think I'll do 3. So some I'll do 2 blue dots and 2 pink dots. So what we do is basically we do a dot. I want them small, I don't want them really big. So we'll do 2 pink dots there, and then we'll do a blue dot there, like that. And then what we do is we run a toothpick through it, which will create a heart. I'm not sure if you can actually see that, so I'm going to lift it up so that you can see. They now got little hearts there. So just to, she didn't want them anything too hectic, but just, you know, with something little. And then we can fill out the rest. Because it's not supposed to be revealing what, I think they have something specific that's revealing, like balloons or something, what the gender is. So this is just treats on the table. I'm going to put 3 little dots there for the only needs 2, but I'll put 3. That's fine. Okay, so my chickpeas should be done. Let's put this down, and then we can have a look at these chickpeas. Hey, Dad. What's wrong? Huh? Oh, they're in the cupboard. So this is what they're looking like. Super roasted. So now the idea is for them to be hard in the center. Why are you shaking your head? Hey? I know, that's what I'm saying. Touch it straight out the oven. Okay, so this is what it looks like. But they do say that they will get harder as they cool down. So, while we carry on this and melt some chocolate, I'm going to leave them to cool down. Because obviously they need to be cold. We can't cover them in chocolate. I can't cover them in chocolate, you know, when they're hot. So I'm going to boil hot water and melt my chocolate. I'm going to say probably 10 minutes or so for them to cool down. And that should be more than enough. for it to cool down. So I know you get this fancy like metal thing that you would use. I don't know what it's called. To do exactly what I'm doing with the toothpick. I'll just use a toothpick. So now I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to do a blue one and 2 blue ones and 1 pink one. So I'll do 6 like that, and 6 like the other one. Just to, you know, make it interesting. The pink is very light though. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So we're just going to do 6 and 6 of them. Let me go and put some boiling water into a pot. Because I'm not going to need a lot of chocolate, I'm just not going to use my big double boiler. That'll work. I'm not going to use my big double boiler to boil the water, to melt the chocolate. And I'll use that. But like I said, I just want to like coat them. I don't want to douse them in chocolate. So I think like that is more than enough to keep them going. Hopefully that will melt nicely. That will melt nicely, yeah. Okay. So, do you need a towel to wipe this? Okay. So they're cold now and they're not dry. So I'm going to leave them in the oven to be there for longer. I think it's very much not 20 minutes. I think it's very much like now, leave it on low heat for it to dry out. Just like a meringue. Same thing. So I'm going to leave it at 100 and not higher. And I would rather, so because I don't want them to burn out. I meant to get burnt. And then let it, kind of go for longer. Which is a little disappointing because I kind of wanted to get this done on the live and hope, because they said in the recipe, see, this is the whole point of me doing live, is that sometimes what they say in the recipe is not really the case. Definitely needs to be, I'm going to say, my experience, it needs to actually be in the oven way longer at a lower heat to dry out. So that's what I'm going to do, because my child won't eat it this way. It's still soft in the middle. And you don't want to bake it fast for it to then burn. It's not the same. So obviously this is going to be in the oven way longer than I expected it to be. Therefore, I can't be online for that long. So unfortunately, it is a bit of a shitty grabby that I'm not going to be able to finish it, but I will finish it off, and then you can check out on my Facebook page what it looks like when I am done, and then I'll give you my verdict of whether it worked or not. But anyway, hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and you can catch me on Monday, on Wednesdays and Fridays for live. We're going to be changing it up a bit this year, I think. But we'll see. We'll keep you posted. Keep an eye out on my Facebook page, and have a fantastic weekend. Stay cool if you're in Cape Town, because it's going to be super hot. But yes, have a fabulous weekend.